Hey y'all, don't forget to hit those buttons over there where you're listening. I am going to try really hard to tie this all up really nicely. I've been arguing with bootlickers about the minimum wage and how it was started in 1938 as a minimum living wage to provide and support a family of four. And they keep saying it was for unskilled labor, teens, basic jobs. And I said, okay, regardless of who it was for, unskilled labor or not, it was a minimum living wage to provide for a family of four. In 1938, it may have been a teen that was providing for a family of four. In 2024, it may be a teen that is providing for a family of four. That sent me down the wormhole of, you know, what are we looking at? Well, okay, so as of right now, this is what Investopedia says. A living wage is $25.02 per hour. That is based on, before taxes, based on a family of four. Okay, because I was like, or 104,000. Well, that's not right. That's with two working adults, okay? So if we got two working adults working 40 hours a week at $25 an hour, but minimum wage is still $7.25. $2.13 for tipped workers, okay? But we just had the article come out, right? So if you're a parent of with two children, okay, that mental load, the household, everything that you do, if you were compensated for their efforts at a median hourly wage, you would earn an additional $60,000. That's not adding up, right? Because I'm contributing. My role as a parent is contributing an additional 3.8 trillion. So I'm definitely not being paid my value or worth. Let's just keep going. Yes, the minimum wage was originally intended to be a living wage that would support families. The minimum wage was established in 1938 with the Fair Labor Standards Act. So where do these bootlickers get this idea, right, that it's meant for teens? Because I've argued with family members, I've argued with so many people about this. And it's false. It is false. That idea that it was meant for primarily young people starting out. And it doesn't matter. Money was invented by someone who had nothing else to offer. So the people at the top, right? Capitalism requires exploitation of the many for the benefit of the few. Let's keep going. And we know FDR was elected 4 terms. 4 terms, okay? I mean, they had to enact the 22nd Amendment after he passed away. In 1935, he called for 5 major goals: improve use of national resources, security against old age, unemployment and illness, slum clearance, and a national work relief program, right? Okay, so 1938, minimum wage gets enacted. Let's get on to Ronald Reagan. 1953, Ronald Reagan starts working for GE. He's on General Electric Theater. He is in everyone's living room, getting nice and cozy with them for 30 minutes a week. They love him. And what is his job at GE? He also goes into these warehouses, and his job is to anti-union. He was really charismatic. So it was really, you don't want to ruffle any feathers. You don't want to, you really don't want to have a revolution, really. And he did a good job, and people listened. And this is where the bootlickers really started. He really started getting in their heads. Who started college tuition? Okay, because the middle class was rising, right? We had a standard living wage. The economy was better. It was getting there, anyways. They didn't want that, right? They didn't want black people going to college. They didn't want the rise of the middle class. They didn't want everyone to do well. Here we have tuition starting. We also had the Mulford Act, right, from Ronald Reagan, because the Black Panthers were carrying. They took up arms, which I believe that they are the only people I can think of, as far as the Second Amendment is concerned, a well-regulated militia. They're the only ones I can think of that had the Second Amendment behind them. I can't use that. I'm not. Anyways. 1970, great economy, best economy in the world. The rich also paid their fair share of taxes. The top individual rate reached a high of 94%. That's why they didn't like FDR. He was taking some money. In 1944, 1945, and the top corporate rate reached a high of 53%. And I remember seeing in Mad Men where the ad execs would pay 50% and they were millionaires, but Abigail Disney talks about her grandfather paying a 90% income tax rate and still amassing huge wealth. Anyways, Reagan got his start, right? Started brainwashing folks. Yep. Here is the Share Our Wealth, the movement that Roosevelt adopted. Called for massive federal spending, a wealth tax, wealth redistribution, and I believe it's FDR who also warned us about the military-industrial complex. And I know that that man had his flaws. For sake, I know. And he had some people working against him who sound very much like, the patriots that we have today. And there was also this white woman. Isn't there always one? Elizabeth Dilling was an American writer and political activist. In 1934, she published The Red Network, a who's who and handbook of radicalism and for patriots, which catalogs over 1,300 suspected communists and their sympathizers. Anyways, big right-wing activist, huge critic of the New Deal, referred to it as the deal. There's always a white woman, isn't there? Anyways, if you happen to be a bootlicker, don't be. We're all in this together. Don't forget to hit those buttons. Oh, there was another white woman I wanted to talk about. This one. They would have been good friends. All right. Don't forget to hit those buttons over there. I don't know if I didn't tie that up in a nice pretty bow, but I hope it all made sense. I hope your night doesn't suck or day doesn't suck. I'm not sure when I'll get to post this. Love y'all. Okay, bye.